Sex is a want, not a need. If you actually look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you bother searching it up on Wikipedia or Google or whatever, you'll find at the bottom is physiological needs, followed by safety, belonging and love, esteem, cognitive, aesthetic, self-actualization, and transcendence. I would put sex more toward the top of that, your self-actualization, transcendence, and so on. Let's go through the bottom two, though, because they're kind of important. Physiological needs: air, water, food, heat, clothes, urination, excretion, shelter, sleep. Those are the needs for the human body to remain in homeostasis, not sex. Air, water, food, clothing, okay? What's the next level above that? Safety needs. Safety needs include health, personal security, emotional security, financial security. Interesting. Financial security, isn't that interesting? And then we go on to love and social needs and family, friendship and trust and so on. Now look, why is this idea constantly being pushed on us by the boomerocracy, by the degenerate boomerocracy, by media, by corporations, by government programs, that we somehow are entitled to sex or deserve sex, or that it's somehow important? Why is this idea being pushed? Women don't like this idea. If you talk to women about it, they don't like it. If you ask women, what do you want? The first answer that they tend to give you is not sex. They want a lot of other things. They want safety, especially safety from violence, and safety from abuse, and safety from emotional traumas. They want reliable income. They want to be able to care for those close to them, their children, if they have any, or their, themselves as well. That's what people want. I would also add that, you might say that sex is still really important, even more important than the base needs, but if you want to understand why millennials aren't behaving in the ways that you boomers think that we should behave, I can give you a very simple answer. It's because we're not getting those needs at the base of the pyramid. It's because we're not getting reliable sleep, reliable shelter, or reliable financial security. And so, I think what you'll find is that a lot of anger is being directed at younger people, which, is really kind of not necessarily justified. And, basically also a lot of brainwashing to try to make people think that they need to be after sex, that men need to be constantly propositioning women, which is just obviously not the millennial way, if it ever was, even the boomer way. But no, it's not a basic need. Sex is not on the hierarchy, or if it is, it's not at the lower levels. It's not at the basic levels. Basically, human beings need some degree of safety and control over their own lives, their own person. They need that before they could even begin to think about things like sex or a family or the future. First things first. First things first, folks. Thank you.
Usual, you've totally mangled the topic. Sex is, in fact, in Maslow's hierarchy, in the base, in physiologic needs. It's one of the base physiologic needs, without which we could not even reproduce. So the bottom line is sex is commonly done in many societies that don't have adequate food, shelter, water, and even poverty-stricken areas. So you see, your ideas fall apart at a basic and root level because you haven't really read into any of that stuff, other than maybe seen a chart of Maslow's hierarchy without having read it, or his thoughts about sex, or the fact that he himself believed it was just a very basic, fundamental physiologic need. And yeah, it's there in Africa. Ask them in Africa if they're comfortable enough to reproduce. I'm sure they are. But as usual, you're very, very scattered and not very well put together thoughts from your theory here. That's somehow the boomer's fault for your own inadequacy. I don't mind. We will continue to date your generation's women. And this is why. It's a good example.